Mouth. The scripture says that the worlds were formed by the word of God, right? But what is a world? A world is a reality.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? It's a perception.
Yeah, not the planet.
No, not the planet. It's just a perception.
Not
it's a reality, right? So if I give you a word, I create a whole reality in your mind, because words not only describe thoughts, but they form and condition them. That's why you gotta watch how you talk to your children. Watch how you talk to your
words are
woman,
powerful.
man. You gotta watch that, because you can shape a whole reality in their mind. And you wonder why this child is a devil and acting up, man. You might have said something to this child at a time where you don't understand what that did to him.
Yeah, you messed them up.
You messed them up.
Man, listen, we back again, this free game.
The saying lasts, but I'm never least. Cause every time I drop that heat, all that talking cease. Facts. Her wishing well, or do you wish me well? He pucker up like jackasses, he like to kiss and tell. Facts. I got that fever, boy, I'm burning up. Hourglass ass niggas, they know they time is up.
Man, listen to this free game.
Freeze.
TIN, what's up?
Peace to the Vibe family, it's to God.
Devil was good.
Top tier, no fear, man. Pray I see the path clear.
I'm back here on this wonderful Tuesday.
Yes, sir.
We got the philosophic alchemy in here.
Yeah.
Peace.
Mr. Johnny Lamar X.
Yes, sir.
Brother Jay in the building and all that.
Honor to be here, bro.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Before we get started, I'm gonna let you tell the people who you is, what you represent, what you got going on.
Alright. My name is Johnny Lamar X, and I am a brother who's been wanting to come and talk to you for a while. But I'm the type of brother that believes in work. You know, I don't like to come to you without the receipts. So I had to think and say, I could die tomorrow. I've had brothers come and tell me all the time, you know, you need to get out there and push yourself with, you know, I didn't care to be in front of the camera. But if I die tomorrow, I don't want to die and not be being of service. So I have a personal transformation company, and it's called Philosophic Alchemy. And what we do is we take ancient wisdom, nothing that I'm telling you is new, and we blend it with modern strategies. So it's not that we're just talking, we actually have an actual methodology to go about making things happen. And that's what I bring to you. That, and also, if you're like myself, I don't claim to know everything, that's the first thing, but I want you to grow with me. And if you want to grow your brand along with myself, I have I partner with a marketing company, and it's a way for you to grow out here just like me and get yourself out there and grow your brand, and also bring in some extra income as well. But that's what I'm doing right now in a nutshell.
Okay, so you mentioned growth,
Yes,
which
sir.
is very important. I mean, you came from somewhere to be able to grow. So talk about that process. Talk a little bit about your journey, how you started, some of the obstacles you went through that attributed to you kind of making this, I say, transition into what you're doing right now.
All right. Well, it's a lot, man. From day one, I was always just an inquisitive person. From day one, I was always the child asking about God. I was inquisitive in Sunday school. I wanted to know who God was. I always wanted to ask that type of stuff. But I never got the questions the answers to my questions.
There's a lot of us.
You know, I remember being young, and I think I was in Sunday school, and we were talking about Noah and the ark, and I just wasn't going for it. You know, I remember thinking, like, you know, you got giraffes and all this, none of this is going on, and I was always asking questions like that.
Yeah.
And I remember one time being in Sunday school, and I remember sweet lady Miss Shannon was just like, you gonna have to stop asking that type of stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you
stepping outside.
yeah, like, you know, like, you gotta stop asking this type of stuff. And that's just one thing I can think of. We talking about growth, right?
Yeah.
So as I got older, those questions never really stopped. Or those questions, since I wasn't getting the answers, my attention went totally elsewhere. You know what I mean? So now it's like, okay, I'm not doing good in school. I'm not good in church. What can I be good in? Wow. And in our culture, you know, it's all about being cool. And as you're young, you want to find yourself, you want to find your identity, and that led to a whole list of other things, man. But eventually, I wound up figuring out, okay, I came to the Nation of Islam after just, trials and tribulations, and it was like, okay, they told me that I was a god. That started a whole rabbit hole of stuff right there. And again, I was always a reader. I was always an avid reader. That's probably why I did okay. That's probably why I graduated from school. I was just an avid reader. I was always that type of person anyway. So, I wound up joining the Nation of Islam. They told me I was a god. And I'm like, okay, wow. And they broke it down so well. But it's like, it made me wonder, how did I ever believe anything else? You know what I mean?
Right.
And that just started me, I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I always wanted to be that. COVID hit, and I wound up becoming one, man. It just happened like that.
Right.
And I've been on that journey for the past 4 years. That's another reason I want to start my company, because I know everything that a young entrepreneur is thinking. I know the doubts he's having. I know all of that. I know about gaining your money, not knowing how to manage it, losing it, having to figure out what else to do. All that stuff that comes with it. That's been my journey thus far. So that's what I want to do. I want to talk to entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs, because I know the stuff they're gonna go through, and I know a lot of times in order to be an entrepreneur, it's gonna take a personal transformation. It's gonna take some personal development, because I had what I like to say, Carl Jung says, the dark night of the soul. You really looking yourself in the face and you seeing everything. On top of that, again, after coming to Islam, they say after Islam, after all else fails comes Islam. You start to see everything in you. You start to see the good, the bad. You start to see a lot of your limiting beliefs. I took a lot of coaching and stuff like that, and what it did, it made me just really want to be a personal transformation coach. But that's the short version. Anything in specific, we can get specific about it. But I went through a lot of stuff, bro, just to make it short, bro.
So yesterday I was I didn't want you to have the same interview, but I wanted to address some of the things you said yesterday when you was on Seven Smoke. Shout out Seven Smoke too.
Shout out Seven Smoke,
Shout out
man.
Seven Smoke.
You was like, you said you was a third grade dropout.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mentally, you broke it down what you meant when you said it.
Yeah.
So you said you couldn't relate. I'm paraphrasing. You said you couldn't relate to school. It wasn't for you. So 2-part question. What can schools, because we got kids still going to school, what can schools do today to relate more to our children? Children like me, you, Devil, Tim, our background. And y'all also talking about curriculum. Is there a curriculum that's relatable? Because we know teachers, they just get whatever they told to teach, they got to teach it.
That's right.
If there is a curriculum, what does that look like? Because me and Tim and Trey, we going to these schools, we telling these kids, don't drop out of school, come to school, stay in school, attendance is important. Because we know if they ain't in school, if you between the ages of 4 pre-K to, let's say 15 before you get a job, what you doing if you ain't in school?
You ain't doing nothing good.
You either getting in trouble,
Right.
wasting time, or whatever. So
Right.
we saying school, so kind of speak on that to that sense to like the kids, because I know what your reasons were. So what can the schools do? Because I know I guarantee you is probably a million kids feel the same way you feel. Like,
Yeah,
I can't relate to this.
I know
so.
they do, man. It's like I look at it this way. I'm gonna say the same thing the minister said, man. Minister Farrakhan, he says that a real education is the full cultivation of a human being. So if we're not cultivating a human being, what are we really cultivating? Before you're a doctor, you're a human being. Before you're a lawyer, before you're a police officer, whatever you are. And the thing was, if this child doesn't know who he is, it's like you're building him on a shaky foundation.
Right.
And you can see the reflection of that in our civilization. Take a look at what's going on right now, and you telling me that we educated? We educated, but we educated in a lot of trickery. So that starts from day one. The lies start when we tell them about Santa Claus and all that, and that's cool if you want to celebrate that. I don't knock any of that, right? But I'm just saying, tell the truth with it. Let's look at the curriculum. Imagine if I'm well, you said speaking of our children, right? All right, let's just imagine if I'm a cat, right? And my curriculum is created by a bunch of dogs. When I walk inside of school, I see all the beautiful pictures of the dogs. You know what I mean? You telling me that the dogs won this country, the dogs were such great men. One dog never told a lie after he cut down a cherry tree. If you're telling me this, what as a cat, what am I really getting? I have to be a dog in order to be successful.
To relate.
In order to relate, right? Me and these dogs don't necessarily talk the same. Me and these dogs don't necessarily smell the same. Not knocking. I'm not being crazy. I'm just saying
it's a great analogy. It's a great
just
analogy.
Different, man.
Speak.
So what does that leave me at? Especially what if I'm not doing good in school? For one, I'm not a dog and I ain't doing this good. I don't connect with none of the dogs that's teaching me.
Right.
Where does that leave me? I'm in this physical building, but what does that leave me to do and think? I'm not here mentally. The dogs I see are on these rap videos. Because again, man, I'm ineligible, bro. I can't play those sports right now. You know, I'm not in no 4-H club. You know, even if I go to church, it's still dogs. You know, I had a white Jesus on my when I went to Mike Vanna AME church. And shout out to Mike Vanna. You know, I got love for Mike Vanna because they did instill certain things, but a real knowledge of self they did. So the short answer is a knowledge of self. And unfortunately, these school systems are not going to give us that. That's not in their best interest. Why would I tell you, give you a knowledge of self? I can't enlighten you and capitalize off of you. And we live in a capitalistic society. So it's not really the school system. I would teach, and I'm not a father yet, but I would teach my child the information and the real education at home and build him a solid foundation and not wait for these dogs to teach him. He has to navigate in a world with the dogs, right? But you are a cat. Understand the way the dogs think. You know what I mean? You're going to have to know that. You have to understand it. Because see, if you understand that you're a cat, but also you understand how the dogs move as well, that's a real education. You not only know how to operate in a world, you know how to create a whole reality for yourself. And that's what a real education does. It gives you the ability to get up and do something for yourself. I don't have to leave here and then, go, again, I'm a cat waiting on a dog to feed me. How much you think I'm gonna eat if I gotta wait on the dog?
That's right.
Man, listen.
You're gonna be the feed in a minute.
Right, there you go.
That was tough.
When they get real hungry, what's gonna happen?
Yeah, you're gonna be the feed.
T.I.M. chime in.
Yes, sir. So I of course I've been knowing you for a long time, so we've been vibing. And I've seen the transformation, you feel me? When you first got in the nation, it was kind of like I was shocked, like God dang, like one boy did that thing for real, you feel me? So I'm one of them kind of cats that I'm an open book. I read everything, you know what I mean? So and I always say, like, when I talk to my Muslim family, and I say, like, yeah, I ain't a card carrying Muslim, you feel me? But I understand where we coming from in Islam, you know what I mean? Right. So I study Islam. I ain't a card carrying, you feel me?
You ain't a vanguard.
Yeah, I'm not a card carrying, but I'm a Muslim, I'm Christian, I'm Hebrew, I'm all that, you feel me? So coming up, cause I be watching you, right? And you here in Valdosta, right? Like it's like a culture shock.
Yeah.
You feel me? For somebody to see FOI actually on the corner when selling the final call. You feel me? Yeah. Like back in the day when Bird Daddy was around, it was a culture shock, cause like it ain't really a whole lot of that. You know what I mean? It's kind of like you on the island now, by yourself out here, cause I don't know if you deal with the Arab mosque that's here or the
I never had to. No, I know about it. I've been there before, but I haven't. It's never been nothing.
Yeah. So so the thing is, you been here, like, how do you feel? You feel me? When you have to navigate, just like that cat that you just described, messing with all these dogs in the school system. You, in the same sense, you that cat now, messing around a lot of dogs in this system right here. So how that work for you?
The difference is being the cat outside of the school system and in the community is I understand the nature. Regardless of how dogs they act, I know I'm still dealing with cats.
Right.
So instead of pulling on their activity, we try to pull on their nature.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times it gets very frustrating. Very, because our people, bro, it's like imagine if you trying to wake somebody. First off, people think I'm trying to change their religion.
Right.
That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
They think I'm trying to change their religion, and they also think that it's that distrust there, kind of, and you can tell.
Yeah, it's black. You black,
Yeah,
of course.
it's that distrust there. And one thing I've seen though, the good thing about the nation is you learn discipline. If you don't learn nothing else, you're gonna learn discipline fast. So once you learn that discipline, you have to go in. Sometimes I done went home and just been like, oh my gosh, boy, some of the stuff you deal with. But being here in Valdosta, I've seen the good and the bad with it. But I started going to Albany more because I just felt like when you alone and you by yourself, you do feel like one man on the island. It does feel like, man, they ain't hearing this, man. This dude on the corner with the paper, man, I'm looking crazy to these people. You know what I mean?
Right.
But they don't understand I'm a black man just like them. I'm not crazy. None of that. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Listen, man, this is just my duty. It's just the same way you see McDonald's every single day broadcasting what they got going on. Well, hey, man, I'm just your brother broadcasting knowledge, wisdom, and understanding from the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. Don't get offended, you know. Don't. If you ain't gonna be mad, they selling you death for show, and you know they selling you death.
Right, and you gonna eat that every chance you get.
And you gonna eat that every chance you get.
Yeah.
You might as well, like Trump told us, he wasn't lying. You might as well give me a try.
Right.
You know, hey,
you gonna try everything else.
You try everything else. But it gets frustrating, bro. But it's just understanding the nature of our people and understanding that I have seen black people, you know, get real animated, man, just get real crazy with me, and then they see me again, like, hey, my bad, bro. Right. You know what I mean? Because they go home and they think about that. You know what I'm saying? So I've seen that, man. But I have tried to come up with different ways to do it. You know, because the thing is, it's to really, it's my duty. You know, in order every single day, my sole purpose is the resurrection of the dead. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it's not, this to me is still part of that mission. You know, FOI and all that, that's just on the surface level. But under that, man, I think that my mission is just the resurrection of the dead. I think that's the same reason y'all got this podcast.
Trying to wake them up.
See what I'm saying? It's the same thing.
So
So the newspaper is one thing, and you know, that's just the vanguard FOI part of it, bro. You know what I mean? That's just the duty of it. But besides that, man, it's just like going to the gym, bro. You know, some days better than others. That's the
yeah. You know, me personally, like everybody ask me, like, cause you know I got some daughters that they do church and all that, and I got sons, and everybody be like, well, how y'all how you feel? You feel me when you talking to your? I said I talk to my children like they children.
That's right.
I don't control the thought process of where they want to be at in their life. I said I can ride in their car and they can ride in mine. Mm-hmm. I understand where they coming from. They just got to learn how to understand where I'm coming from. And being that I'm well read in all the scriptures, you feel me? I can break down and understand what you talking about, that I don't have to be like against you. Like, you feel me? I ain't at war with Bible readers.
Exactly.
You feel me? I ain't at with Quran readers.
At all.
I ain't at war with y'all. I ain't at, you feel me? So it's like when the situation that you had last night with the Hebrew, you still reading the same Bible.
Same Bible, bro.
Yeah, like what you talking about, you feel me? So you just decided not to talk about New Testament. You feel me? It's still the same book, bro. What are you talking about? You feel me? So we can talk about all this stuff all day, and the resistance that you're gonna always encounter here is, you know, of course, like you said earlier, they feel like you're trying to change their religion and trying to turn them into something. Oh, you don't want us eating no more pork no more and this and that. My thing, I always say, Brother Jay, I say, do what you want. Whatever you eat ain't gonna make me go to the bathroom, right? Yeah. So the resistance that you're gonna encounter, that's why I always try to invite you to different stuff, like where we be, you feel me? Yeah, because I be wanting people to see something different, right? You know what I mean? Instead of them seeing the same old, it's a whole, you know, FOI member right here in the city, and y'all don't understand, like, these are the fruit right here. It's a whole different, you feel me, level of understanding right here, but y'all ain't tapping into that. Y'all don't want to hear that. You feel me? So when you do encounter that resistance, how do you manage it other than that?
The resistance of, man, what, trying to convert them or change them.
Changing them. Yeah.
I try to meet them where they at, bro. I have to understand that. I understand their worldview. You just said something that's very important. You know where they at.
That's right.
We grew up in the
we've
church.
been there with you. Yeah.
We done been there.
Yeah.
So it's easier. The man at the top of the title. Not saying I'm super enlightened or any of that, but I'm just like you. I just read.
Yeah.
I just study. That's all it is. And when you go to a level of understanding, it's like you going up. Wisdom is called a tower in the book, in the Bible.
Right.
It's like, so as you go up the tower, you start to see things that the person maybe at the below the tower don't understand.
Right.
And it's that I can see things that you might not be able to see. Your worldview is only but so big, and
Right.
I understand that because I was the same way.
Right.
Right. So instead of trying to change your worldview, all I come to do is enter it. Give a little information and leave right back out of it. 'Cause that's really all I can do.
Stick and move.
That's all I can do, man.
Yeah.
But to come in and try to rip the tire, like let's just say if they on some carpet and rip it up under you.
Yeah.
Now you fall, you mad, you angry, because that's what they think I'm coming to do.
Yeah.
They
You
think
can't
I'm coming to rip the carpet up under them. Then they gonna fall, they mad, and now they angry. Nah, man. Enjoy your carpet.
Yeah.
It's cool, but it's another carpet over here that you might like, you know what I mean? Just read about it, check it out, and any questions you got about it, if you like. The best thing to do is be the example, man.
That's it.
That's really the best thing you can do. The best thing, because people feed with their eyes, man. I can say something all day, right? But people first have to see it. Go talking about marketing. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times it's subtle, man. You can't catch. It's a brother named Brother Aaron in the mosque. He always say you can't catch fish with bean pie.
Ain't gonna happen.
I can't come to you and just be FOI, this the most honorable life. You don't care. That's not your worldview.
Right.
Your worldview is Jesus. That's
Right.
why when you see the minister talk, he talk more about Jesus in the Bible than he do the Quran. He knows the Quran. In the mosque, you're going to get some of that for sure. But our people are not buried in the Quran. They're in that Bible.
So you gotta
So
go
we
there.
meet you where you at, man.
You gotta go get them out of
You
there.
know, and it ain't about, I don't have the power to change them. I understand that. You know what I mean? I'm gonna change you. I ain't God.
That's your choice.
That's your choice.
Yeah.
I just try to represent what I am. The best thing you can do though, I try to live the life so right to the point where, Islam has magnetism. Hopefully you can see it. And if you ask a question, I got it for you. But it is my duty to at least try to, reach my hand out and let you know. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So my last thing before I let my boy Fusco get on here is like in 1997 was my first time seeing the minister first time.
Yeah.
Tallahassee. And that's what kind of started my journey to the flip mode. You feel me? Like I started switching up everything I was doing because of that. So I definitely give the Nation of Islam, not Arab Islam, but the Nation of Islam, all the credit for changing my way of thinking.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
So it definitely, like he said it himself that day, and he said it many times, like no man can sit up under my voice and stay the same when you leave.
Yeah.
You feel me? He
Yeah.
said that 1,000,000 times, but he said it that time. And that day I came out of there, man, and everything, I just started flip mode, like everything started changing. Like, so I went to the 10th anniversary of Man March. I done been to a few times in Atlanta. But his delivery, and there was a few of us then, but a couple of us died, people moved away. You know what I mean? That was riding that wave. You know what I mean? I think you now, of course, but I think I was probably the only one left out that original crew that was going through it. None but, just rocking with that, and that's where I was getting my information from. You know what I mean? So I definitely got to give my shout out to the minister, brother minister, man. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, for sure.
All praise to the Allah, man.
Yes, sir.
You said in your intro something that was profound to me when you said, "I've been wanting to come holler at y'all, but got to put in that work."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You had them receipts, and I'm an artist, so I understand that very much firsthand. Shout out to my boy Pressure Bust Pipes, you know what I mean? Reggae artist, very big reggae artist, and we're very close friends, but people always be like, yo man, why you ain't did nothing with Bust yet? Why you ain't did this? And I always tell myself, because I be wanting to put in that work, you know what I'm saying? I be wanting to have, everything lined up for myself. So I was wondering what is the importance of making sure that you're in line of doing good work before you maybe partner or team with somebody?
Well, the thing about good work is you don't have to sell so hard.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
Because it done sold itself.
So it sells itself. You know a tree by its fruit.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean?
Sir.
So if you put in the work, that's like if you go to a store and you say, hey, y'all owe me this right here. They're gonna be like, show me some receipt, show me your receipt or something. Here you go. Man, it's the same way, bro, when you coming in front of people, man. They call it social proof. You know, now my problem was I suffer from, I ain't gonna say I suffer from it now, but I was suffering from perfectionism for a long time. And the thing was, I would sit up here and try to make sure everything perfect before I start. And Tim Ben told me to jump out there. He been saying that, right? And I just wanted to be perfect so much. And it's just like, man, again, you could die tomorrow, bro. You know what I mean? And it really ain't no being perfect. It's always something that you can improve on. Always. And the work should speak for us. I want you to see the work as I go. You know what I mean? That's right. As I go, you can see, okay, the brother started right here. Now he's here. He's servicing this. You can see where, you can see where he's adding value to life. Right. And that comes with time, man.
That was tough.
My thing is, I just want to, like they say, the revolution won't be televised. Well, I want mine to be.
It's being televised now. They're tricking us. Yeah.
Man, that was dope that you said that, man, because I watched when you said I was dusty when I did my first video.
Very dusty.
You know what I'm saying? I was dusty. Now look at me now, and you made the reference to Gucci Man. Now, I've never been. I remember when bro used to be up in Connecticut. He called me, man, who the top down there? Y'all listen to Gucci Man?
Yeah.
He like, Gucci Man on top? Like, man, but what I understood, because I felt the same way. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's bubblegum rapper. How is he? But the authenticity of who this man really is.
That's what it was.
You know what I'm saying? Like, when I heard you say that, I was like, yeah, you hit it right on the head, man. You know what I'm saying? And I think that young men, even cats that's our age, man, sometimes they don't know how to pull out that authentic person within themselves. So you're gonna mimic other things of what you see. So I always want to say, and like I said, when I seen you say that, it was just like, man, brother hit it right on the head, because I feel, and I want to know how you from a young age, like I got 4 boys. You get what I'm saying? So, and it's crazy because what you just spoke on earlier, as far as being the example and certain things you said, that's why I said the universe don't lie, man. I literally was just having these conversations earlier with my son, like literally my oldest son. We was having these conversations and certain things that you were saying, but some cats, when they're young, they got to be able to face that mirror. That's they got to understand, like you said, who they are. You know what I mean? Like, I know you say you don't have no kids, but in telling young men, like, hey, don't be afraid to be who you are and draw it with, draw it from out yourself and fail. You know what I'm saying? And just keep getting back up. So that's why I was wondering, like, was your angle with that?
Yeah, with the you mean with the start where you at and be authentic? Yeah, it was, man, because the thing is, there's no other, you the greatest version of you that there's gonna, like, you're unique in the fact that there's never gonna be another one. Right. So embrace all the weird stuff about you. You know what I mean? As long as it ain't too weird. You know, because the reason I believe in having a God is so it don't get too weird. Right. You know what I mean? But authenticity, man, is you have to figure out who you are, and that is hard because again, we ain't been. I know I wasn't educated on who I was, so just like the young men, I had to look for it a lot of times, man. And a man is he's gonna look for the nearest representation of a man. You know, the nearest representation of a man who's close to him. That's who he's gonna imitate.
That could be the dope boy on the corner.
That could be the dope boy on the corner. That could be the working man. That could be whatever, right?
Yes, sir.
But eventually, he's gonna run into, like you say, looking in the mirror and saying, "Who am I?" You know, I remember being back in the day, man. I was like 17, And I remember we would all get high, me and my friends, right? And I remember going home, some of my friends would be laughing and joking. Some of them would just be doing what they do. I remember going home and looking in the mirror and being like, bro, who am I? I'm like 17 with this identity crisis, man. And as time went on, I kept searching for that, right? And I could identify who this person was. I could see his good traits and stuff like that. I could see this person. I could see that person. I didn't know who I was, bro. It was like a big question mark. You know what I mean? So I had to figure that stuff out. And trying to figure out who I was, bro, I done, went through all different things, man. I done went through, the regular 9-to-5 life. I done dabbled in the street life. Now I'm in the entrepreneur. It's like you searching, man. You cultivate. You trying to find yourself, man.
You do.
So, for the young man, I would just say, talk to your creator, man. If you want to know how something works, if I got a car that's a Hyundai, if I want to know what's good in it, why it works, how does it work good, man, go straight to your creator, bro. He gonna be able to, all the bump in your head that I had to do, you ain't gonna have to do. This ain't no after school special. I'm not telling you, hey man, find something that works. If mama them ain't working, there's somebody out here. That's what your brother, that's what I'm for, or other brothers like him. Find what works for you, what resonates.
That's right.
And you run that route, man. And you'll start to see whatever attracts you, that's usually something right there. Whatever it is attracting you, the person you looking up to, hopefully it's the right thing. But it's the easy part is talk to your creator, bro. He can tell you more about you than anybody else, man. That's the easy thing. And take a personality test. It's a lot of stuff that you can do to figure out who you are. Taking a personality test. It's stuff out there that you can look at and say, oh wow, I was always like, I got a book coming out. It's called Who Are You? 8 Steps to Creating Your Own Reality. It talks about all of this, man.
Okay.
It all be out.
Who are you?
8 Steps to Creating Your Own Reality.
8 steps.
It's talking about all of this. Everything about being the authentic you and finding out who you are, it's gonna talk about it, man.
So you I also caught yesterday, you said you was told some disparaging things as a kid. Just sticking to the young man. Y'all jumped on the young man topic. So young man going through some of the same things that you kind of went through as an adolescent or child, or you coming up. That you said you joined gangs and you was in the street, you was smoking weed, you was doing all that. You come across this typical young man, got some of the traits that you had back then. But you being a transformation coach, how would you approach the situation?
How would I approach the situation? If a young man is trying to find himself, basically? Yeah,
but he got some of those. He got adults beating him up, telling him whatever they calling him. He got these bad influences around him. He's trying to identify. Like, how would you, with your same thing that you went through, this young man, you kind of looking at yourself in the mirror. Like when you see this young man, you like, oh, I was like this one. Right. How would you? What angle would you use to kind of get this young man to come to the other side?
All right, first off, I'll try to connect with him, man. Because first thing you got to connect, then you converse, then you convert. You know what I mean? So if I can't connect with him, it's really nothing I can do. I got to connect with him because at 17, I know how I was thinking at 17, man. If you didn't connect with me, it wasn't happening. So I have to figure out who he is and what he at, man. It's really getting up out of myself and getting into him. You know what I mean? Getting completely into who is he listening to? What's his environment? And don't judge him. Remember who you were at 17. You know what I mean? Yeah. If you smoke weed, I'm the type, I'm not gonna go to him, oh, you smoke weed is bad. It is bad. You don't think he done heard that by now? You know what I'm saying? All right, cool, whatever. I'm not gonna come at you and say, what you should be doing a finger wagging, because he don't want to hear that. But what I will do is see who he is and where he at and what does he want to do. I'm gonna start at what you want, man. What you like. If we can figure out what he want, now we can do a lot. That's gonna be the powerful part right there. What is it that you want? Because if we can get him a vision at 17 years old and get him to believe the vision, that's another thing. Because a lot of our self-image and our self-esteem is so torn. We might know what we want, but man, we don't think we can have that stuff, right? Because we don't see nobody else doing it. If you've been taught that you were stupid, as a man thinking his heart, so is he. Your heart is your mind. You can change your
It's hard,
self-image,
so
but
is
you
he.
can't outperform it. So what is his self-image like right now? I have to figure out all of this, man. And it goes back to, the foundation is who he is and what he think about himself. If he thinks he can do something and we can get that vision started, that's where everything started right there, man. Because if he has the desire for something bad enough and he believes he can have it, that's gonna help him navigate that playing field right there. He's gonna avoid a lot of stuff. But if he don't know who he is and he has no clear-cut definition of what he wants, he wasting time. He gonna keep smoking the weed, hanging with the little friends that may or may not be good. You know, he gonna stay chasing the females. You know what I mean? Because if a man ain't chasing a dream, he gonna be chasing his, you know, you know what I mean?
Chasing the things.
You're right. He gonna be chasing the thing. That's what he gonna be doing. So that's what I would do, man. I would try to connect with him however I can, reach him, go right where he's at, and find out what does he want. Because he ain't gonna tell me what he want if I can't connect with him. He might tell me something superficial. If you can really connect with him, he'll tell you what you want. That's where we go at. Go from right there.
I ain't gonna lie, I had a slow moment because when I first was checking you out, and then I had to realize what you said, what is it called? Basically yeah, there you go. And then you was like, it's just another for inner transformation, right? So I'm sitting there like, damn, what's that saying? And then as I even looked it up, right now I was like, dang, the transformation of inner self, right? You know what I'm saying? And basically like the process of a personal growth that can involve changing the thoughts, actions, and behavior. So I made it more than what it was initially. And as we've been talking, it's just like, ding, you know what I'm saying? It kind of like hit me. So was it a process for you to change your thoughts? Was it your actions, you know what I mean? And in that process, you know, because some people, like you say, some people get it. And then it take a little while is what they call the learning curve, right? You know what I'm saying? But I guess you have to have, I know of course it takes patience, you know what I mean? And willingness, because you have to be willing to want to change the inner you know what I mean? You have to be willing to do that. So I was just curious to know, like, what were certain actions and certain behavior that you changed, that you stopped doing in order to
it's just making a decision, man, sticking to it. A decision, you want a decision from taking your life in a whole nother direction.
That's real.
Whether good or bad. A lot of people sitting in jail right now, I can tell you, man,
one decision. One decision.
We can do it out here. You just really make a decision, man. The thing is sticking with that decision. And we all operating off of a script or a program, and it's identifying, why am I not doing what I said I wanted to do? Because, you know, we can sit up here and say, I'm going to do this, that, and the third. Man, you might do it for about a week. Once that motivation run off, you know, it's always a process.
Yeah.
It's never not a process.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man, I think for myself, it was making that decision and knowledge. Learning what it is that you want to do. If once you make that decision, you have to be consumed and obsessed with whatever it is you're talking about, man. Like whatever it is you're talking about, it's time to dig on in. And this can be a good or a bad thing. That's just my personality. I just have a do or die personality. I'm all the way. I don't really know how to be lukewarm.
That's
you know,
real.
I'm all the way in and out.
Yeah.
And the thing is, if I want to learn something, I'm gonna get every book on the market that I can afford on it. I'm gonna get all the way in with it. You know, but making sure it's what you want though. And why do you want it? Why is it that you want what it is you're saying you want? Again, it goes back to knowing yourself.
There you go.
Because if you don't know yourself, it's like, okay, I want to be a real estate agent. Why?
I don't know. I just said so.
Okay, you gonna get in it. You make, because I've done that, man. I've got into stuff, made a little money off of it. The moment the money stopped, man, I don't want to do this no more because I didn't really care for it in the first place.
Right.
So that's with everything, man. It's gonna be a process, and it's just making that decision and knowing why you're making that decision. You know why you're making that decision, that's gonna solve a lot of stuff right there too.
Yes, sir. Yeah. I got a you been chopping it up. Y'all did a you and Law last night. Y'all was building on it a little bit, but for our audience, break down that knowledge of self. You feel me? Give us a synopsis of what what is, you know what I mean, knowledge of self.
Knowledge of self is really just being aware of self. You know, that knowledge is gonna keep you. Knowledge is the principal thing. That's what the Bible says. So that means it's important. It's the first thing. But in all you're getting, get an understanding of it.
Right.
But the thing is, first, once you get that knowledge, it doesn't just, you might have read the book, but you gotta act, man. It's that wisdom. You get that wisdom by acting on what it is that you learned, right? Now, once you gain that wisdom, that could take a year, that could take 2 years, 3 years. It's them experiences that's gonna be accumulating, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, once you get to that point, the way you know that you understand it, can you teach it to somebody else?
Right. Can you share that?
Can you share it, right?
Yeah.
So when we talking about self, it's the same thing, man. Really sit down and observe yourself the same way. You have to be able to look at yourself objectively. That's why meditation, I know it seems like the new thing and it's the end thing, but people have been meditating since we've been living, man.
Since the
Meditation,
animal time.
meditation is knowledge of self.
That's it. Yeah.
You sit
You
back,
alone.
You
Yeah.
object. You
Yeah.
you're looking at yourself from an objective standpoint. You get to really see, wow, why am I thinking the way I'm thinking? And this is something you told me a long time ago.
Okay.
You told me not that long ago, but you told me this and it stuck with me. Don't think you can be listening to stuff and it ain't somewhat in you. You ingesting.
Yeah, yeah.
If you sit back and let's just say, if you thinking violent thoughts, lustful thoughts, sit back and just objectively look at your thoughts, man. That's why a lot of people don't want to be alone. A lot of people don't like themselves, man.
Right.
When you sit back and you able to, I always say talk about meditation, because meditation is just like going to the gym, it's like working out every day. It's building a real relationship with yourself. How do you get to know anybody else? You usually spend time with them. You talk to them. You talk to them on the phone. You tell why we can't do that.
Do it yourself. I'm telling you.
You know what I mean?
Man,
if we sit
that's
back
crazy.
and watch ourselves, man, and you can program yourself. Affirmations, visualizations, man, this stuff real.
Very much so.
This is real stuff.
Right.
It's not this woo-woo, hocus-pocus stuff. They don't teach you this in school probably for a reason. They kind of teach it to you, but not the way that,
Not in depth.
not in depth.
Nah. They gonna surface dwell.
They want to program you.
Yeah.
But when you do this stuff on yourself, you program yourself. So you sit back, and if you're a religious person, if you're a person who believes in a higher power, you know, I don't knock nothing you do. Just be real and true to it. That's all I ask. And once you're reading it, a lot of times, if you're reading the Bible, if you're a Christian, that's gonna give you a knowledge of self right there. You can look at them pages, and it's not to really condemn everybody else. When you read that Bible, you're looking at a lot of. You ought to be feeling that sometimes. Like, ooh, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We told that the minister said something, and Closing the Gap, page 53.
Okay.
You got that?
Absolutely.
I know you do. I already knew it. He has. He says, I don't see how anybody can perceive reality correctly without the help of God, because He's the creator of the reality that we're trying to perceive.
That's right.
So it goes back to, if you have a Hyundai, if you want to understand everything about this car, I mean, if you're a general mechanic, I can probably tell you, if I'm a general mechanic, I can tell you some things about it.
Right.
I can tell you a few things about what's going on, but I can't tell you about it like the creator of it.
That's right.
Right?
He know all
Go
things.
to the manufacturer. So therefore, study your Bible, study your Quran, get into that. But at the same time, take that same time and study yourself. Spend about an hour. I heard somebody say it before Miles Monroe, but he just said it recently. I was watching some of his. He said that prayer is you talking to God. Meditation is God talking back to you.
That's right.
You're gonna be in tune.
That's when you get your downloads.
That's crazy. I was just reading it.
Yeah.
That's crazy,
Yeah.
man. You got me scaring me right now,
man.
bro. I just reading that
You're
about
gonna
it
be
today.
more in tune, man.
Yeah.
And that's how you get that relationship with God. I'm gonna go way deeper into a lot of this stuff, in my company, it'll come. But as far as we get into the subconscious mind, the conscious mind, and what you call the superconscious, and aligning all of that, man, powerful stuff. But it starts with, all of that is knowledge of self.
That's it.
All of it, man. You know what I mean? It's all knowledge of self, man. That's how you get to know yourself. I hope I answered that right.
Yeah,
Yes,
I think
sir.
you answered that very thoroughly. Yeah, man.
When did you realize on your journey? When did you realize like I'm here, like this it?
Man,
Saying you identify, because I always hear you say a young man has to identify himself. So when did you realize you finally got to the point where you identify yourself after you went through all those trials and tribulations? When did you realize that?
That's a great question, bro. I would say about 2 years ago. I'm gonna say this is why I say that. Elijah, I can never thank Allah enough for the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, because he gave me my identity. He did. He let me know, hey man, you a God, and go on about your business. I mean, you can stay here and learn everything, but I'm gonna give you that. But it gets deeper than that. Because, okay, a God is a being of force and power. That's the general definition of it, right? Now, what kind of God are you? What's your personality type? You know, you have the character. You know, character means that, you know, you have integrity. You don't lie. Stuff like that. You work on that, right? But what's your gifts and your talents? You have to really, really study yourself to identify that stuff, man. So I'm gonna say about 2 years ago, I took a coaching from this personal development company, and I got to really hone in on, wow, this is why I was probably like that the whole time, man. You know, I got to see where I could be of service to people at, right? I got to see, okay, why these things in my life didn't work out and why this always kind of did. So now what I'm doing is I'm forming an identity based off of my results, based off of a track record that I can actually look at and say, this has been me the whole time. You know what I mean? Once I did that and learned of how I could be of service to people, it was on, man.
Yes, sir.
Right then. That's why I wanted to be in personal development, because I know the impact it had on my life. Man. It sped some things up fast that I wouldn't have known if I hadn't went down that road. So about 2022, that's 2 years ago.
Yes, sir. Yes. Go ahead, bro. What you got?
So it sounded like when you seen the results, you became more, I always talk about being purpose driven.
Yeah.
And that's a problem with today's society. It's like we're not purpose driven, but we'll check the box. Checking the box is just saying you did it.
Yeah.
But really doing it with a purpose, I did that for a reason. But sometimes we just do stuff to say that we did it. That's checking a box. But when you have an intent behind it or a purpose behind it, you're more purpose driven.
That's right.
You ain't gonna just check that box. No. Your quality gonna be better.
A whole lot.
You see what I'm saying? So it sounded like with your results, that made you kind of put that battery back. I'm gonna be more purpose driven because this right here is what's giving me my results I need.
That's real.
If it line up. So yeah, I thought that was dope. Like, and that's what I do with my goals. I kind of track my progress. Like, I don't want to be in the same spot next year where I'm at right now.
That's real.
Then that's like, what you been doing all year? You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, bro.
That purpose is what defines your mission.
Yeah.
Man gotta have a mission. You know the minister talk about that.
Yes,
a man
sir.
in his mission, man.
You gotta have a mission.
And if you got that purpose, you pretty much on your way to finding your mission in life, man.
And that's another, and even with that purpose and mission, that's another part of knowledge yourself. Because when you knowledge yourself, you start to see the different things that, like you said, you start finding your talents, you finding your abilities. And just like with Les Brown, when he was talking about the depth with all your skills and your talents around your deathbed, saying, now I got to die with you because you chose not to use me. You feel me? So that's the same thing as when knowledge yourself. When you start knowledge yourself and you start to see the stuff that's meaningful to you. And we talked about this before. When you start switching lanes, like you'll start losing a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, people will start detaching from you.
Oh yeah.
Right? And what happens is that just show you right there that those people really wasn't for you. Yeah. So now you start dropping off all that extra baggage, and then you start seeing your momentum pick up. You feel me? Because everything else was just holding you back, right? And when you start shedding those extra layers, you feel me? You start moving forward. So you know me, I'm a big fan of Dr. Wesley Muhammad. Love Dr. Wesley Muhammad, you feel me? My boy very analytical. Very. Yeah, he gonna take you all the way to the bottom and bring you all the way back up and give you a clear and concise understanding of whatever it is that he's trying to talk about.
You gotta sit down. You can't just read his books.
You got to sit down and study his books. Like, I got everything he done wrote, you feel me? And, you know, for one thing, one time I was talking to a dude at the barbershop, and you know me, sometimes I'll say peace God to somebody. And and I don't be recognized. You feel just natural to me, right? He said, man, what you just said to me? You called me God? My name ain't no God, nigga. I ain't no God. I said, pardon me, King. You feel me? You feel me? If you ain't gonna accept it, I can't give it to you. You feel me?
That's
So in the Dr. West Muhammad said in 1992 when he first, he was a bitter atheist. He wasn't messing with the religion and all that. He came from being a 5% to atheist. Then he was in Atlanta at Clark University, I think. And he ran into a guy who told him that the black man is God. And since then, he been blown. He been blown by that understanding.
Yeah.
And so now, that's it. Everything he built on is Black God Protocol. Black God Protocol. You feel me? So now he telling you, in Islam, he's telling you that you are a God, right? Everybody don't want to receive that.
Right.
Yeah, you have to you be like, what you mean?
Right.
You feel me? Just like I be telling these guys, like, yeah, it's in you. You just got to bring it out, right? So when you say, when you heard that, light bulb came open.
Yeah.
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 It was, the rest was history.
Yeah, well, I took the red pill.
Yeah, it was over. yeah. The rest was over. You feel me? So when you went, like that's a whole nother dimension. Yeah. Like that ain't no normal.
Whole nother reality.
Yeah, like you ain't in a normal space no more. So when you hear me say, when Chadi say T.I.M. what happened, I said peace to the divine family, it's the God. And I be hearing people like, what you mean when you be too much you the God?
Blasphemous.
Yeah, I say you don't say that when Charlemagne said. You ain't got no problem with him saying it. You feel me? But when I say you got a problem, but I got understanding. I got knowledge, wisdom, and understanding behind what I say. Right? I can stand on mine. You feel me? So when we talk about it and they say, well, when you say finding out who you are, elaborate on who you are. Who are you? You feel me?
Okay.
Trying to elaborate on that for me.
Well, the scripture says that you're all gods. I ain't say it.
It's in the book.
If you claim to be a Christian, I didn't say that.
It's in the book.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Children of the Most High God.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not saying I'm the supreme being.
Yeah.
There is a supreme being that we believe.
That's right.
You know, but if I'm creating this image in this life,
I'm trying to tell you what you look like.
You know
That's what he said.
He said he was spitting image of his dad. What you think? And he act just like him.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
He acted. What's his actions? You know, so that's our original state, man. To be like that, but at the same time, wherever you have a positive, there's a negative, right? So let's just say we've been living in the word says we were born in sin and shaped in iniquity, right? So we born into a sinful world, and environment is powerful, man. Environment. I was thinking about it today, right? You can have all the knowledge in the world, man. You put me in a certain environment, I'm gonna use that knowledge to get up out of that environment before
You feel me?
shaping me.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? That's just how it goes, man. So if we are in an environment where the atmosphere is full of wicked thoughts, you know, as a matter of fact, the scripture says something about, you know, Jehovah looked at the people's thinking, and he seen it was constantly wicked thoughts, right?
Right.
Well, how do you know what a thought? How do you know what thoughts are? By the words that come out of a person's mouth. Right? I'm getting back to the knowledge itself.
Yes, sir.
But out of the words that a person's mouth, it says, the scripture says that the worlds were formed by the word of God, right? But what is a world? A world is a reality.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? It's a perception.
Yeah, not the planet.
No, not the planet. It's just a
Nah,
perception.
not
It's a
the planet,
reality,
yeah.
right? So if I give you a word, I create a whole reality in your mind, because words not only describe thoughts, but they form and condition. That's why you gotta watch how you talk to your children. Watch how you talk to your
Words are
woman,
powerful.
man. You gotta watch that, because you can shape a whole reality in their mind. And you wonder why this child is a devil and acting up. Man, you might have said something to this child at a time where you don't understand what that did to him.
Yeah, you messed them up.
You messed them up.
Yeah.
It's gonna take some reversing that now, right?
Yeah.
But
Now
what
you
if
gotta
tell
put
him-
some work in.
Now you gotta put some work in.
Yeah.
Now what if you told him he was a God from day one?
Right.
If that's his foundation, right? So basically, that knowledge of self, you have to know what word has been planted in your mind, what reality. I say this, man, when you take a look, I look at how we used to go to the club, whatnot, you know, and this ain't just knocking the club because this is everywhere you see it. You know, it's like somebody gave us a script. We all in the club, right? We look the same. We acting the same. Somebody literally gave us a script and we all in here acting out the same role.
That's it. Every night.
Based off of a word that we were given every night, right? So you have to know a script is a script like an actor. He's acting a script. Whose script are you acting? Who programmed you and gave you this script? Why do I do what I do?
That was tough.
You know what I mean?
What script you reading from?
Because we all acting.
What movie this is?
Yeah, well, how many cats? I ain't mean to cut your wisdom out, but you just said something very profound. Because it's like how many times you done got cats that you done seen and got that script like, well, I can't do that.
Oh, real.
I can't do that. You want me to do what? Nah, man, my boy, he might. Hey, man, check that out. You might want to read that. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't read from that. I can't act from that script. That's real, though.
Right. Your programming don't even. It can't even. You know. It don't even. You know. It can't even. You can't bring that into your reality.
That's real. That's real.
But you have to observe that type of stuff, man. As far as that's the knowledge of self right there. What world am I living in? Did I create this reality? You know, or did I allow somebody else to come? Did I choose this reality?
Right.
Because I'm operating in it. We operating off of programming, man. Every last one of us. It's just that, did we program it or did we allow somebody else? And every day you walk up out of your house, man, you got an enemy giving you suggestions. Every day, trying to put it in your mind. That's why, again, I go back to what you told me. If you're listening to something,
right,
don't think that it ain't, it's like it's marketing all over.
It's getting in your head.
It's suggestions, man. So you have to be aware of that type of stuff. What am I consuming on that spiritual level? Because word is the spirit. That's what the scriptures say. You know what I mean?
In the beginning, that was the word.
Right.
Yeah.
And that spirit is thoughts, man. It's thoughts, it's breath. You know, and that's what we really got to watch right there, man. What am I ingesting? Whose script am I running off of? And going back to who are you? You are who you've been programmed to be. You know what I mean? Originally, you are a God, no doubt. But that force and power can be manipulated like it usually is to do the bidding of the enemy. That's why we can say one thing and we can't even control, you know, a lot of the stuff that we doing because we fighting against a programming that was given to us by an enemy, man. You living in a negative world. That's usually, you know, based off perception. I would say the general population of the world is operating off of negativity. That's just how it is. Because you have a small minority that wants to capitalize and exploit and manipulate the majority to keep them living a certain type of way. So you are whoever you program yourself to be, pretty much, or who you allow yourself to be programmed to be. Observe yourself. You'll figure out you are. You know what? Who you are, man. You are who you are when you alone by yourself and ain't nobody looking.
That's crazy. You said that. You are who you are when you by yourself. Because you can't, when ain't nobody else around, that's who you are. And so if you can't be with that person, then something wrong. Ain't nobody else gonna want to be around that person.
And see, that's the thing. That's the crazy thing because it's kind of like when you saying you create your own reality. You know, the minister always talk about how gold is made. You feel me? And the draw that's on the gold that you have to refine before you get to the gold that we see. This gold, it look like a piece of dirt somewhere, right? And it has to be defined in order for it to come out to be this shiny piece of gold. And so somebody had to create that reality for that gold to manifest itself to be this shiny piece of gold that we see, right? Because if you was in a gold mine and you ain't know what you were looking for, you won't never find the gold because we be looking for this. You feel me? But this ain't what it look like in this natural form, right? So somebody created a reality for us that it look like this. You feel me? This a finished product, right? But in the beginning, it looked like a piece of dirt. Like it's just like a diamond look like coal. The coal that you put in your barbecue grill. That's where the diamond started off looking like. You feel me? And then you have to refine it. You have to go through a process of pain, and struggle to become diamonds and gold. So it's the same thing as when you say create your reality. But everybody want finished products.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
We
2024, we in that microwave age. Yeah. Everything got to be now.
Right.
Yeah. We can't do nothing. You can't prolong no actions. Everything got to be immediate. You feel me? In 2024, you have to have an immediate outcome, or else they're gonna lose.
Instant gratification.
It's got to be instant.
Overnight success.
Overnight success, man. Nobody wants to go through a process, and that's how we get in the situation we in now. You feel me? Where everybody's just, if it ain't now, I don't want it. Like, what you mean? Like, I ain't got time for that. You feel me? So creating your reality, just like we always talk about, is all about them frequencies. You feel me? We have to be vibrating on 432 hertz. That's the highest. That's almost the highest level. That's the best place to be at, right? But all of us, we probably down here at 18. We listen to stuff that's gonna take us below the belt.
Yep.
Yeah, ain't you feel me? Everything.
We comfortable there too.
We love it down there.
We
love it down here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Anything above that, we don't want that. We ain't got time for that.
No.
Yeah, so that's the reality.
Yeah.
You feel me? Just like you said earlier, that's these rap guys that you see. That's who. Just like Kellyon said the other night. He said, man, if I came out here rapping that positive stuff, ain't nobody gonna sign me. You feel me? Nobody don't wanna hear that. Right? My man Rakim said, my knowledge of self is nothing I can't solve. At 360 degrees, I revolve. When he said that and moved the crowd, 80s. You feel me?
Yeah.
Way back then, he said that. And that's what woke me up to the supreme wisdom. I was like, what are you talking about? How you vibrating that?
Right.
You feel me? How you evolving 360? And that's how I got into supreme mathematics. That's how I learned how to do the knowledge. And that was then.
Rakim.
Yeah, Rakim.
Powers of the words.
Rakim,
You know what I'm saying? That's real.
Rakim did that. And then that's how I got onto the wise intelligence of the world. You feel me? The King's Sons and all these guys now, they doing the knowledge on the album. Them boys gone. The X-Clan. Well, ain't nobody playing that. You get no love in 2024, man.
See, the 2024, what you referring to is they living off of trying to live out somebody else's reality. You see one person overnight success or think is overnight success. Now you feel like you can do it. But they ain't even in your stratosphere. You feel me?
Right.
They ain't even.
And that wasn't overnight.
And that's and that's where it comes from.
Yeah.
You got people that really think that
It was overnight.
Okay, he did it. Now I'm just gonna do it. You know, now magically it's gonna happen for me.
Right.
And then the next person do it. They tell the next person this, and now they got it all figured out. And guess what? They don't want to hear T.I.M. Toddy Devil.
Right.
They don't want to hear. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
They don't want to hear. If it ain't a process, like you said, a process it takes work over and over and over.
They don't want that.
If you gotta do that, man, you crazy. Get out my face.
Yeah, you gonna lose the whole crowd.
For real.
Yeah. You're like, oh, man, everybody finna start getting up.
Stuff that we feel makes sense.
Right.
You think it makes sense to them?
No.
Man,
Not where they at.
That's why they say in certain instances you'll go to certain houses of worship and they'll sing all day and the preacher might preach about 15 minutes, time to go home.
That's right.
Cause see, they ain't really want to hear all that right there. Now we trying to hear the singing. Yeah. We want to hear that singing, so they'll sing for about an hour. You feel me? And he might hit you with a few verses and pass that plate around.
Go home.
Out of here.
Appealing to your emotions.
That's it. That's all they want.
You just spoke of Rakim, right?
Yes, sir.
Guys like that, again, it goes back to you got a masculine principle and you got a feminine, right?
Yes, sir.
When you sitting up here and you listening to them lyrics, you have to use you have to use logic. That's math. You know, you gotta really when you listening to
Rakim,
or somebody
yeah.
like that, you gotta really sit back and say, hold on, what did he
What
just
he
say?
just said? Right. Play that back. Play that back. Yeah.
Hold on, he just said this. Oh man,
That's
you know
crazy.
What I mean? It took some critical thinking for
Yeah,
him to come up with that.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the emotionalism, it's just like it's all about how you feel, and that's why I think back in the day I heard they had to stop salesmen from coming to women's homes during the day. Because when their husband wasn't there, they would just keep buying.
Right.
Because if I get in front of a woman and if I can make her feel or appeal to her emotions,
right,
a lot of
she gonna buy.
She gonna buy. Right? It's like the subconscious. You just throwing stuff there. You need that masculine principle because the man will like, whoa, hold on, yeah, I like that, but it don't make sense to buy this right now.
Right,
it just don't make sense, you know. And it goes back to what you were saying about being in church. You know, a lot of times we go to church, it's about how we feel, man. But it's 3 levels of existence. You have the animalistic, right? And that's all about instinct. You know, a dog don't think before he have sex with another dog.
You just do it.
You just do it.
Yeah,
it ain't nothing to think about. But when it comes to people, it's all about that emotion.
Very much so.
You know what I mean? We operate off on emotions. We know we ain't supposed to eat this ice cream and cake before we go to sleep, but I feel like it. My logic tells me not to do it, but I feel like it, so that's what I'm gonna do.
So my emotions.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. I know I ain't supposed to go over there and see that girl today, but I feel like
I need to go do that. Yeah.
And you can manipulate that easily.
Yeah.
And
You
that's
gonna fix
how
it
that
up.
feels.
Yeah, you gonna fix it up.
But God is the master of logic. When you take a look at the way He operates in that Bible, I tell people all the time, God is the biggest killer that ever existed.
I say that all the time.
You know what I'm saying?
I said devil ain't never killed nobody.
If you read that book with your feelings, oh man, there is no boogeyman bigger than God. If you read it with your feelings,
God was gangster.
He especially the Old Testament.
God
you know what I
was
mean?
gangster.
That was straight. He was.
Yeah, I say that all the time.
Come on, man. So, but he did that. It was all logic. It's mathematics in the way that he operates.
Everything based off the math.
As we strive, like you say, that process, man. That process, that purification. It's a book called Pain, the Gift That Nobody Wants. Right? And I read a little bit of it. Pain is a gift because it lets you know what to do, what not to do. Just think about it. When you're working out, you go hit the gym. You know, your muscles don't grow if your muscles don't grow if you don't feel some soreness.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, you got to tell your muscle every day.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Your teeth ain't gonna grow without your gums itching.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we have to embrace that pain because logically we know. Forget how we feel. Logically we know we have to do this in order to create the reality that we want. Right? And all temporary, all long-term growth comes with some type of temporary discomfort.
Right, most definitely.
We don't want the discomfort. Even if
nothing.
I'll do it tomorrow.
Right.
I'm guilty of it. I done did it. You know what I mean? But the thing is, at the end of the day, man, it goes back to, again, that emotion. And that's what the church is doing. They're appealing to our emotions. It ain't really about transforming that life like that.
Yeah,
and I'm not knocking all churches. I'm just saying.
Not all.
It's just that, but you know, man. We grew up in the church, man. We know what's there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, not all.
And if you going off the how I feel, man, I can be in there all day. I'll keep coming, I'll keep paying, but I ain't changing my life.
Ain't nothing changing.
You ain't requiring me. You gotta get me uncomfortable.
That's
and appeal
right.
to not. I have to go through that discomfort. And again, man, you know, every frog appraises his own pond. You know, I go back to the FOI. Man, you're gonna be very uncomfortable. That's one of the main things about it. You know what I mean? It was all about the discipline, and it was all about, you know, having to be here. Keep making your word your bond. Because, man, we'll tell a person something quick, man. One thing, a lot of us don't keep our word. You know what I mean?
Your words is nothing.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And the thing is, when you having that accountability, it goes back to, that's what the whole personal development and stuff is about, man. Having a coach keeping you accountable. You do it.
Yes, sir.
You train people. I'm quite sure it ain't about how, you know, just come here and, you know, man,
do what you want.
Man.
You
ain't doing that, bro.
Let's get it right.
When I first met you, man, we grind over here.
Yeah.
That's what you told me.
We grind.
You know what I'm saying?
We grind.
And that comes with being uncomfortable, bro. That emotional appeal that we see in the church, they using the same technology the enemy use, man. We gonna give them a little Jesus, make them feel a little good, and get their money.
That's crazy.
That's how it go, man.
That's crazy.
That's part of marketing too.
That's part of marketing.
That's a marketing scheme. Yeah.
All of it.
That's part of marketing.
Whatever you selling, to manipulate it. Well, that's part of marketing.
Got to sell it. I got to get it sold.
And then they appeal to them emotions.
Yeah.
What's them pain points? You know what I mean?
Yeah. You got to dig in, man. That's crazy, man.
Very much so, man. This is very enlightening.
Yeah.
For the most, like I didn't. Once bro had shot me the text and showed me, and I went to digging, and I was like, oh, okay, this where we going tonight. You know what I'm saying? And I was, you know, I'm glad that we went here, man. You know, make some things I want to ask, but I'm gonna ask you off air.
No, that's on
No, I ain't gonna get like that. No, we ain't.
Yeah, don't be punking out. Now, how long we got? MC Bird?
I ain't gonna get wicked like that. We been riding. Yeah, we been riding. I've been out on
Yeah. Go ahead and ask a couple of questions real quick, man. Let's see. Go and ruffle some feathers and all that. You must be scared.
I asked one. I had someone to say to me, and this is something I really gonna come to you with. Okay. That Allah is a moon god.
I've heard that too.
What that mean?
I've heard that Allah was a moon god.
Yeah.
I've heard a few different things about the word Allah being a moon god, right? But and I'm not a man who claims to know everything.
That's right.
But from my understanding, Allah simply meant all in all. It's just simply an Arabic word for God. See, the thing is all about intent too, man.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Word is vibration, bro. And
Right.
it's all about that intent after you casting a spell, right? So if I'm calling out to Allah, you do need to know the definition of it. But the only definition that I know of it is
the all.
exactly
Yeah.
the all in all.
Yeah.
You know, we can break it down arm, leg, arm, head. Like, it's so many different interpretations for it.
leg,
But at
arm.
the end
I
of
heard
the day,
Jason.
it's God. It's just an Arabic word for God.
Yeah.
Arabic is one of the oldest languages we know of right now, right?
Yeah,
We
right,
believe
right.
that's what the original people spoke.
Right, yeah.
Right? So when I say Allah, that's a title. A God is a title. Now I can get a little deeper. I believe he came in the person of Master Father Muhammad. But at the end of the day, Allah is a title that I give to the. When we say God, you have Allah is the supreme being, but all of us make up the one God.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
You sure? Because I
Yeah,
keep going on.
you keep going.
Okay, all right. So the thing is, it's the all in all. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad said that every time you look at a black man, you're looking at God.
That's
That's
it.
what he said, right? So I think I said this last night. How would I act? I don't care what condition you in. If I know your nature, it goes back to what we said earlier. It's frustrating as it can get. If I know I'm dealing with God, I gotta respect you, bro. If I know I'm dealing with God. As a matter of fact, the scripture says that how can you say you love me and you see
How can you love God
Yeah,
when you ain't never seen and
Yeah,
hate
you
your
never
brother that
seen.
you see
Come
every
on.
day? Yeah.
We interpret that is, how can I sit up here and say I love God when you born and made in His likeness and His image, and I don't have the capacity to love you,
Yeah,
but I
I
love
hate you.
God, and I
Yeah,
come on,
yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Okay.
So it's the all in all, bro. It's basically everything. Every man in blackness creates a God, bro. You know, that's my interpretation.
That's
of it.
original.
That's the original. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So that's my interpretation of it. It gets deeper. Check out books. If you want the real logical, the root knowledge of it, check out the Book of God by my brother Wesley Muhammad.
Yes,
If
sir.
that's really something, that rabbit hole you want to go down, check that out. You
Say
know
it
what I
again.
mean?
The Book of
The
God.
Book of God by Dr. Wesley Muhammad. He gets real deep into it.
Yeah, but you gonna need your thesaurus and all when you read
Yeah,
his
you're gonna
books.
have to do it in the morning. Wake up and have your piece of paper. and sit down.
Yeah. You can't play with him, bro. I'm telling you, you got to really sit down and
I say
read.
everything.
It's his book's crazy. Like it's like you gonna be like, man, what is you talking about? You feel me?
Yeah.
Like he did the pot plot. He did the man. Listen, man. Man is with man wordplay gonna have you like, man, I don't know what my boy talking about, man.
You
Yeah.
call it cracking atoms, man. You get down to the mind, to the simplest form of what it is. That the brother do research
Extensively.
extensively.
And he got footnotes, sources, cited, everything. It's in there. All his books like that. He cite every source that he quote or he mentions. Everybody. He got all everything. Like, man, that man, I mess with West Muhammad real hard. You feel me? So, yeah.
Book of God, man.
Yeah, Dr. West Muhammad crazy with it.
Well, that was great, man.
But that was before you start,
Go
though.
ahead.
Even when even when you do, if somebody, like I heard that too, like, you know, of course, every supposed attribute is attached to something. You feel me? Just like the word God that we use is Greek word. It's a Greek term. You feel me? Yeah. So what's up with that? You know what I mean? That's Greek. You know what I mean? So, and the word Allah is just a plain, like you said, it's a plain old Arab word. Like what you talking about? Where you get the moon, you know, cause the moon is feminine principle.
Right.
The moon ain't really got no light.
Yeah.
You feel me? So the moon is a feminine principle. So how you can put those two together? You feel me?
And if Allah means, if it's a moon god, if it just means God, you can attach that to almost
anything. Yeah, anything.
If the word simply means God,
you can attach to anything.
Not anything really. You know what I mean? The trash can God, whatever.
Yeah. You can hook it up to anything. Yeah. So it's really it's tedious.
But I've heard that before.
I definitely heard it. You feel me? But it's just, you know, where you going at with it, what your mindset is. Is you doing comparisons? Are you trying to stay on a certain path? Are you trying to build? Are you trying to destroy? Is you just riding the wave? You just catching on to something?
That right there is my question.
Yeah.
Those type of things, because and I get into, you know, the conversation who I was having it with or whatever, but I just felt like what I get is I think, you know, this person truly has found God. You know what I'm saying? And I get that he's trying to, you know, put the message out there, you know. And once when he was saying things he was saying, I was trying to, because like I say, the other question was, since you know, right? He was like, God and Jesus is the same person.
Jesus never said that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, you know, I can see how you can.
He said, "I am my Father one," but he also said that he's our Father too.
Right.
Yeah, you feel me?
When he says that, when Jesus said that, when you look at me, you've seen the Father. He's talking about he took on the mind.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, it's almost as if, boy, you act just
like
your
so
dad.
God and everybody is the same person.
Right.
You feel me?
Yeah.
God and everybody is the same person if you understand the principle of God.
I heard somebody say that before too.
Yeah.
You become whatever you submit to, man. If you submit to a lawyer, you become a lawyer. That's why you have to go do an internship and all that.
Right.
What happens if you submit to the laws and principles of God? That's what Islam is, the submission to the will of God. If I submit to God thoroughly, I become more God-like every single day.
Yeah.
And that's really what Jesus is saying. When you see me, you've seen the Father, where he's taking on the mind and the actions of the Father. You know? But did Jesus create the whole...
That's the whole...
The sun, moon, and star? No.
No, that's the Creator created
no more
that.
Than we did.
Right.
Yeah. And that's the whole thing, like when you talk about like your mans from last night and all that, you know, they don't rock with the Jesus conversation. Like they don't really do that like that. Right?
I kind of see the bit.
But because they don't, the reason why they don't, because they say it wasn't no J's in Hebrew language, you feel me? And then Jesus is a Latin word. That's a Latin word, and that comes from Spanish.
English is Greek and Latin.
Yeah. So that means like it couldn't have been then. You feel me? How you get that out of that? Like if you was in what's so called the Middle East, like ain't nobody over there named James.
No.
Mark, Luke. Go on over there. Yeah, and say a nigga named Sam and all. Ain't nobody over there named that.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
So if you want to be honest,
you feel all the way honest.
Yeah, you want to be honest. You feel me? Yeah, so don't halfway do it all the way. You feel me? Yeah, so if we gonna do the principle of Jesus, I'm with it. I'm rocking with it.
There you go, right.
Yeah, I'm rocking with it all the way. You feel me?
But don't pick and choose.
But don't decide when you wanna. You feel me? What you want to do with it, and then you don't want to mess with that, and come on, man, get out my face with that.
Let's look at that Bible. The version we getting is the King James version anyway.
Yeah, this is the 106 version.
Come on, come on.
Come on, man.
Come on.
We ain't finna do that, man.
Come on, man. There you go. See, that's the reason why I was trying.
Don't start that.
Yeah. We'll be here another hour.
Yeah, that's real. That's real.
Do it, man. Man, listen, man.
Unless he don't open up a can of worms.
Yeah, man. We ain't gonna do it.
Hey, tell your people,
social
the name
media
of
and all that.
your company, how they can contact you, and all that good stuff.
The name of my company is Philosophic Alchemy. It's a personal transformation company, and also we just partnered with the digital marketing company. So if you like me, you're trying to build your brand online and you're trying to capture leads to grow your business, hit me up at 229-630-4273. Also, you can reach me on social media at Johnny Lamar X on Facebook and Johnny Lamar X on Instagram, and you can also go to Philosophic Alchemy on YouTube. Content is coming on the way. Just be patient, but that's how you find me.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate
Yes,
you,
sir.
man. It was
Appreciate
great
you
one,
coming,
man.
man.
Yes,
I
sir.
appreciate it. I can honestly say it's exactly what I expected. I knew what type of brothers. I knew the intellectual brothers I was dealing with. And hey, man, I
Yes, sir.
appreciate it, bro.
Yes,
It's
sir.
refreshing, man.
Yes, sir.
Man, listen, it's
That's free game.
Freest.
Man, listen, we back again. It's free game.
The saying lasts, but I'm never least. Cause every time I drop that heat, all that talking cease. Facts. Her wishing well, or do you wish me well? He pucker up like jackasses, he like to kiss and tell. Facts. I got that fever, boy, I'm burning up. Hourglass ass niggas, they know they time is up.